Hello everybody, this is kind of the long-awaited update video I've been kind of promising people that I would post, but a little warning here, there's gonna be some kind of deep and heavy, to some extent, subject matter, contained and discussed here, so if you're having a particularly good day, I would recommend probably not listening. There's no witty comments on the screen, you don't need to watch anything, so if you want to listen, just keep it in the background and, do your normal thing and whatever, but, I just don't, last thing I want to do is to have somebody's day be, dragged down by my rambling, so again, I will not be offended if you choose not to watch, or listen, rather, and comments are going to be disabled for these same reasons here, but basically, the reason I haven't posted anything in a while is a multitude of reasons, the main of which is life. It's been kind of a rough year for me, at least the past several months. And all in all, they're not like that big of life changes yet, but more it's kind of a change within me. Among many things is, one, I got a new, my building was sold and I have new landlords who I'm not really happy with, but that's neither here nor there. And my rent has been jacked up quite a bit, so, and it's gonna get to the point where it's going to get beyond, my means of being able to support myself and my lifestyle comfortably. I'm not going broke or anything like that. Like, I have plenty of money in savings and things like that, but I don't feel comfortable living within my means anymore, because I am kind of a miser with my money sometimes. So I have been having to look into potentially moving out of state and away from the East Coast, because this rent issue just isn't with my landlord specifically. It's the entire Eastern Seaboard up here. That it is insanely expensive to live right now. Like, seriously, a one-bedroom apartment will set you back over $1,200. Just to give you an idea of what people have to pay to live around here. And sorry, taking a drink. So while I can't afford it now, because I have stable employment and everything like that, yeah, my rent is going up faster than my yearly raises at work, so eventually it is going to become a problem. So I'm looking into having to move out of state, which, considering I've lived in the same 5-mile radius nearly my entire life, that's kind of a hard choice to make, and it's been hard to look at and research because there's so much stuff I don't know about, not only moving in general, but moving out of state and things like that. So I'm trying to dedicate my time and delve into some research in that front. Another major thing, and this is where the heavy subject matter is going to come into play here. It's occurred to me over the past several months, and it wasn't really like a oh my god revelation or anything like that. It just that slowly kind of creeped in. That a lot of my nitpicky nature and mild annoyance at literally everything, I've kind of written off for years as just that's how my brain works, and to some extent that is true. I don't really, unless I'm doing it for the sake of humor, I don't look for things to nitpick. They just pop out at me. It's not just in videos I do this in real life on a daily basis too. You can ask any of my coworkers, and yes, I am like this. So I'm not like faking it or putting it on a show on my videos to be drama queen, as some people have suggested in the past that I do. Like, I can't unsee it, so to speak. But anyway, it didn't really occur to me until recently that it may be part of a larger issue. And that it's kind of related to the fact, and this is another thing that's kind of sunk in that I've also kind of known about but just kind of brushed off, that I'm kind of a massive asshole. And again, to some extent, I've kind of excused that because everybody is entitled, and I still do believe this, everybody's entitled to be an asshole now and then. Like, you're not owed, someone to be nice to you or anything like that. Should we be a little bit more compassionate to each other as a whole? Yes, but is anyone obligated to go out of their way and be nice to anybody? No. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to necessarily go out of your way to be a dick either, but, I've been finding that, yeah, I am that kind of person who's been a dick. I don't intend to be a dick, but, it's really kind of finally hit me that, yes, I am as dickish and asshole-ish as a bunch of people, and not just here, but in real life, accuse me of, and it's like, it really hits you. It's like, holy fucking shit. It's like, you blame problems partially on yourself, but like partially on everyone else around you too, and then you look back and realize it is all you, and you don't want it to be that way, but you can't turn that switch off. Because you never intended it to be turned on in the first place. It was just there, and again, I've been doing some minor research, and they are signs of a more potentially serious issue. One that I've also experienced from time to time over the years, and it's hard, but I have to make the decision to finally go seek some professional help for it. And a lot of the reason I haven't over the years is not only number one, denial, but because of issues I had well over a dozen years ago where I did have an issue and a problem that I did legitimately need to seek help for, and I did try to seek help for it, and I was pretty much made a laughingstock for doing so. Let's chalk it up to white and middle class privilege, I guess you could say. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's pretty much what I was told. In not in those exact words, obviously, but just the idea that, it's like, you shouldn't be having these issues, like, what do you have to worry about, and things like that. It's all in your head, stop being a drama queen and attention seeker and whatnot. And as much as I didn't want to believe that, it would be a lie to say there's not, a tiny, tiny bit of truth in that statement somewhere, because we all want to feel like somebody cares about us and that we're not alone, and there are times where we will subtly, if unintentionally, participate in means to kind of seek out that reinforcing behavior and whatnot. Again, not that I ever really did it on purpose, at least not within my right mind, but, so that's why it's kind of been hard for me to kind of not only admit that I need to seek serious help, but to actually try to find means to go out and get it, and to approach somebody who is going to take me seriously, and not just brush me off as it's nothing, and you have it better than a lot of people, and everything like that. Because I mean, it's true. I mean, like I said before, it's starting to get out of hand. But like, I have a stable life. I can afford to put a roof over my head. I can afford to take care of my cat. I can afford to put food in my belly. I have a stable job. I can get around to most places I need. I don't have any debt. What do I have to worry about, and things like that. And it's like, that's not just it, though, and that's what makes it all the worse, is because you don't know why you feel this way, because you don't have anything to worry about. And partially because of those compounding issues for years, and the lack of getting the proper help I need, my physical health has kind of taken a dive over the past year to several months. Nothing like ultimately serious, like I'm not gonna die on you guys or anything like that, but those of you who've been following Twitter might have seen that I've gotten sick a lot this year. I've probably called out sick to work more times this year than the past 3 or 4 combined. And that's really kind of shit. I mean, I know some illnesses like a stomach bug like that I recently had, like, you could be the healthiest person in the world and you'll still get it, like, there are some things, you can't prevent and whatever, but I don't find it a coincidence that I was, like, the person who would never really get sick, and now I'm getting sick, like, at least once a month with something. Again, nothing serious, but that's pretty much telling me my immune system is kind of shot right now, and probably because I'm not in the best of physical health, because over the years of these issues that I've finally been forced to face, I haven't really taken good care of myself overall. And it's just now, at my age, finally creeping up on me. So I've been, just kind of, instead of making videos, which I do want to get back to, I've been just kind of been focusing on me and trying to get myself a bit more stable and kind of prioritize my life a little bit better than I was before. And trying to get myself into a better mental state to prepare for this. Trying to get things taken care of so I can just, lift some of that weight off my shoulders. Because there are times where I'm like, okay, I'll see, as soon as I get a day off from work, I'll sit down and record this, and then I go and do that, and I'll have somewhat plans for things, what I want to do. I mean, obviously with Final Fantasy VI, I can't think about what I want to discuss, but, to get in the mindset, I suddenly start second-guessing everything that I have potentially planned. And again, that's because of, this revelation that I'm a massive asshole, and I don't want to come off as a massive asshole, and, I don't, until I actually, end up getting the exact help I need. Again, it's a work in progress. I don't know how to, shut that off. So, I'm, constantly afraid, am I gonna keep coming off as this massive dickhead when I don't want to? And it's infuriatingly frustrating because I can't trust my own thoughts anymore. And I know it's kind of a silly thing to work about, because I'm not exactly, making important decisions here. I'm playing and recording fucking video games, for crying out loud, but at the same time, it's what kind of image am I projecting and continuing to project? I mean, people have been criticizing me, and not so unfairly so, that I complain about everything, so it's now I feel like I can't say anything negative for fear that people are gonna get up my ass again, because, especially when it comes to Final Fantasy VI, where everybody is so enamored of that game, I say, anything that tarnishes its oh-so-perfect reputation, and people get all up in my ass. I still get at least one comment a week about somebody, or, emails or messages or whatever, somebody, absolutely trying to trash me because I have the gall to, not shower the game with, unanimous and extreme praise. And it's if you like it, that's fine. I have nothing against you. You don't need me to validate your opinion about the game, or, what I have to say doesn't invalidate your opinion either. But, and you can write those people off as just, regular dicks and whatnot, because there are people who just are dicks and don't care about, being a dick. I mean, I do care, but the thing is, though, I do care about not being a dick. And I don't want to be that dick first, because I'm the one who's posting the video. I'm the one who's opening myself up to the scrutiny. And to be frank, in the state I'm in right now, which is slowly getting better, I'm not ready to handle that. Not just yet. I mean, it's getting there, and there may be a day and it could be tomorrow that I just wake up and say, you know what, I'm ready to do this, and just go and do it. And, and every day it's just as possible that could happen, because that's how my life's been. Like, I'll suddenly feel kind of down for a little bit, and then one morning I'll just wake up and just everything's completely hunky-dory, as if nothing ever happened. And, right now I'm just hoping that day will come sooner than later, and hopefully before I can finally get put on whatever proper medication and stuff I need. But I am slowly preparing myself, because I've always wanted to, with Final Fantasy XIV, I've always wanted to do Heaven's Ward. And right now I am running a test character, just to re-encounter the main scenario again, specifically the order things are going in and what happens, because I have a lot of mental plans for when I want to discuss with that one, and I'm going to take a slightly different direction with that, and my plans are to, ironically, considering all of the discussed, is to talk about my personal opinions a lot more, rather than being an objective, this is what's going on with the story point of view with it, because anybody can do that. So there's a lot of things I wanted to openly discuss about it. And I've slowly made progress. I've done some elk tests with the Elgato, and I might have the video bugs worked out, because my PS4 way oversaturates colors. I have no idea why. So trying to get a good quality and color balance has been quite the challenge. I may have that figured out by now. And then once I finish this test character, I may be ready to start recording a little bit of that. And maybe that's because it's more familiar territory for me. I may have to start with that before I record the next episode of Final Fantasy VI. I don't know. Again, like I said, I could wake up tomorrow and, just feel extremely good about myself and life and ready to sit down and record again. I honestly don't know. That's something just time has to tell for me. So yeah, I know people have been patiently waiting, but at the same time, I want to deliver something that's quality and rushed and, me, and not just me doing it for the sake of doing it. This is for both my enjoyment and your enjoyment, and if I'm not enjoying it, you're not going to enjoy it either. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening and whatnot, and yes, I will get back to making videos. I haven't quit or anything like that, but just, I have a bunch of other priorities right now, and obviously when I finally sit down to record something, I'll post it on Twitter, and you guys will be the first ones to know and all that. So thank you for everyone for all the support over the years, and enjoy your day, and hopefully I didn't drag it down too much with my depressive talk and crap.